episode number 177 of the Homeowners Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
It was my fault. It was my fault.
Hey,
the slider was down.
All I know is that I had to get that in really quick there at the end because I was like, we're not going to get to the end of the action.
You're not going to get left hanging with no music, right?
Oh, man. I was sitting here going, okay, it's time. We're live. We're trying to do this here. And
should I do my line? Should I go back to my hellos?
No, it's too late. We already did
we
the
missed it. That's fine.
We already did the welcome to the show, all that stuff.
Someone out there is like having a totally different homeowner show experience right now because like, what? Craig didn't say his thing.
Yeah. They're not sure what to do right now. But,
suck it up, Buttercup.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Why is half of your driveway in the street?
Because of that monsoon that came through last night.
I was going, okay, I'm driving on Craig's driveway in the middle of the road.
Let me tell you all something. I hate my driveway.
I do too. I think we all do.
That has been one of my biggest lessons in homeownership ever.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You've paid a lot of money to have that redone.
Yes.
Yeah, and more than once, right? Or just once?
Just the once.
Okay.
The guy, so I see.
He's so pissed.
He triggered me.
I know.
So I actually see the guy on TikTok that did my driveway, and he's like telling people how great a driveway is, because he makes most of his money like resurfacing like commercial parking lots.
Okay.
But he came and did my driveway, and he just did a terrible job, and he did not represent what he was planning on doing properly.
Okay.
So I was under the impression that I was paying for a new asphalt in my driveway. He said that he put down recycled asphalt and then sealed it. Ooh. And so like 2 days after he finished, we had a heavy rain and I lost half my driveway.
My gosh.
And that was like 2 years ago.
Wait, did you find this guy on TikTok?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay.
And I don't want to go into how I found this guy because that's an unpleasantness as well.
Men's bathroom.
That's right.
In the men's bathroom.
It was exit 43.
That's way down in Houston.
I know. That's where you pay less.
But that's past 1960. That's way down there.
And when you want to save, you go south. But anyway, it looked nice when it got done, but like the rain just constantly washes it away. And like whatever reason, yesterday it was just carrying it off, and it's piled up in the street. I'm gonna have to go shovel it, and because otherwise I'm gonna piss off my neighbors. Because that'll be fun. Have angry neighbors.
I'm just thinking like. What do you do to fix this? Is it like French drain time? Or what do you do to fix that problem? Because here's the problem.
The answer is $20,000 in concrete. That's the answer.
Well, get on it, buddy.
What's the $5,000 answer?
The $5,000 is the JA that I hired to do the last thing.
Yeah.
JA.
You can use your imagination.
Okay. I mean, besides concrete, which I know would fix the problem at that point, but I'm afraid that would just wash out the sides of the concrete because you've got this rush of water that gullies right through kind of the center of that thing in the same spot. I mean, like you could literally just put a French drain right there, cover it back up, and it would be level almost.
Well, yeah, and for those of you wondering, we got Freddie P in the studio who's been chiming in, so we want to make sure that everybody knows who's talking.
The Freddie P.
That's right. But I was actually talking about this 3 or 4 days ago with Jehu.
Okay.
And he was telling me, he's like, look, man, just not a French drain. I don't know what they call it, but it's like a concrete box with a grate on top.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what those called, but I
drain.
know it's a drain, but like it's like a commercial drain.
Okay.
And he was like, look, I just put one in on my property because he's got a really cool property just down the street from us.
Yeah.
And he's like, I had to put one in to drain the water from the property because it was pooling over here. And he's like, look, if you put it at the spot where you can see it deteriorating the driveway the most, that's where the water's going to. So just put the box there and run everything else out to the street so it just picks up the water, takes it off the driveway.
Okay.
Which it
makes sense.
It's a reasonable idea. It's just going to be like, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
to rent the equipment to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And take it's going to be like a 2 or 3 day project.
Yep.
Which I don't mind, but like I just don't have the time for that right now.
Okay, so here's a question. Who out there has a backhoe that would let Craig borrow it so that he'd never have to deal with this again? Somebody out there has one.
I bet the
Right.
TikTok guy that originally did it has a backhoe.
Oh, there ain't no doubt about that. Yeah, he's got one. He just doesn't use it correctly.
Yeah.
He is a hoe.
Use a hoe. Oh, use a hoe. All right. Well, hey, that
How
was
about
fun.
like a backhoe for 5 gallons of beer? I can make that happen.
Hey, that's fair trade.
I think so.
I mean, look, if y'all seriously, we will even video it and like put you on the Homeowners Show.
Yeah, Freddie's drinking one. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. It's
All
a little chocolatey, peanut buttery.
Yeah, so it's good. If that's your thing,
Butterbeer,
I can
it's
get
good.
you whatever you want, really. But
Okay,
yeah,
it's worth it.
5 gallons of beer, backhoe.
Deal. I mean, who doesn't want that?
Mm.
I mean, you gotta, I hope you have a refrigerator.
That's right. So I actually had a plan for like the show opener.
Oh,
Because we needed to put an asterisk on an episode that we did 2 or 3 weeks ago.
okay. We're gonna start over, guys. All right.
Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is the asterisk?
Well, so we did the episode on the Magnolia Network,
I remember.
the
I
show
was here.
Homework. Did you hear about this, Freddie?
I did. I saw some articles on it too.
Yeah. So Homework got pulled.
Yep.
They pulled them.
However,
They're back on.
they're back on.
Yeah. So the diligent team over at Magnolia, the Chip and Joanna crew, they went in, they researched, and they determined that we still want to run the show.
Yeah.
And I think the article that I read, I think it even said that the network agreed to help settle some of the disputes.
Okay.
So they may have looked at it and said, this is not a situation where we feel like the couple is, it's not something that really could have been avoided or something that could have been prevented. It's just something that happened.
Yeah.
So we're going to help you guys out resolve this and just move forward.
Yeah.
So what I will be interested to know is if those episodes air.
Yeah, I would be
because
shocked if they actually did.
Well, who knows?
Here's the thing. I would assume that the majority of folks out there watching the show are not watching it the first time.
Right.
They're watching reruns, right, eventually, and they're not going to know that this ever happened.
Probably not.
I mean, you know. I mean, it's not like this wasn't a big deal. It was a big deal, right? But at the same time, I feel like they're just going to be like, who cares?
Well, the people that complained, because this all happened on Instagram, their Instagram accounts blew up.
Oh, sure.
So they have tons of followers now.
So for my people that are watching this for the first time, tell them a little bit about the story because I don't know the full story like you guys do.
Well, I don't know that anybody really knows the full story because
Episode number 175, I think it was.
that may be right. I can double check.
That's a good place to start.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
that's
that. But that's not.
Just
that's
start
not
at
what we're asking for.
170.
Yeah, just keep
You're
going.
bound to hit it.
Yeah. Well, so it's pretty simple. So Chip and Joanna Gaines, they've got their own network, the
Right.
Magnolia Network, where
So,
they're
real quick, is that like its own thing?
Yeah.
Like where you pay a subscription fee to the Magnolia Network,
believe
or is
so.
it part of something else?
I think that it's. I don't know.
Okay.
But what I think it can be.
You tell the story. I'm gonna look it up.
I think it can be either or. Like it's part of maybe a package.
Okay.
Like I think it's like one of those you ordered YouTube TV and it's one of the things that comes on it and YouTube TV is paying them. I
Right.
think,
That'd be smart.
but it would be. But so here's the deal. So they've got this network. Their very first show that they were gonna broadcast was called Homework. It was a really cool show about this family who bought a school and renovated it into their house. And it's really awesome. You can go look it up. It's a sweet place. And so they are remodelers, and so they go in, remodel people's homes, but they're calling the show Homework, which is brilliant. Here's
Right,
a
of
family
course.
that remodeled their school. Okay, all that stuff. But the problem is that there was like 4 different families that came out and basically said they screwed us. Like they didn't finish the job, or it took them months and months and months, or we asked for a refund and they've only given us like a tenth of the refund that they owe us, or they said it was going to cost $50,000, but it actually cost $100,000, like twice as much, like all of these accusations. And so Chip and Joanna, like I'm sure it was their people, probably not them,
Right.
They just pulled it, and they're like, oh, we're not going to show it. Like this was like the week it was supposed to air for the first time, and so it was one of those deals where it's like, okay, well, gonna air nothing. And so they just didn't air anything, And so
Clara just let herself in the studio.
Yeah, slyly.
Yeah.
She just kind of like, go close that door, Clara. Hey, close the door behind yourself.
She knows how to open it. She don't know how to close it.
That's right. It's the opposable thumbs. So anyway, that's the story. And a couple weeks later, they did more research. It's back on.
It's back on.
Back on. So that's what's going on.
So here's what I learned from reading.
Okay.
So which took me a while.
So
they are actually part of Discovery Plus.
Okay. So
Okay.
it is a
So it's like a
network. It's a network of show or
yes, which
channels.
I think
Network of channels.
Is
That's
it
what I'm trying to
Discovery
say.
Plus part of like the Disney Plus bundle?
I think so.
Well, Disney owns Discovery.
Well, that's what,
So yes, that would be the
case. I think you get Discovery Plus
Yes.
when you pay for Disney Plus.
Yes, I think so.
But it also says that they have their own app where you can stream all their shows. So, but interestingly enough, Homework is not listed right now as one of their shows.
Oh,
Even though they announced that they are going to have.
it's just still not there.
It's just still not there.
Okay.
So but there's actually one. It's called Restoring Galveston. So this just shows-
yeah. This is actually okay. I remember reading about this, and I don't want to butcher it, but this is a guy that's local to where we're at.
I think so. Yeah.
And I mean, I think he lives in the Houston area, but he's doing a whole thing down in Galveston
Really?
as well. Really cool. I mean, there's a lot.
Galveston has a ton of history.
Yeah.
And a ton of old
Yep.
homes.
I mean, it's a really smart thing to do. I mean, Galveston's a beautiful place, and like you said, the history there is really and Galveston has spent millions of dollars on their shoreline to get it in better shape, and it's gotten a lot nicer.
Oh yeah.
So
well, we need to let our guest let everybody know who he is. I mean, he's had a brief appearance on the show at a live event that we did.
yeah,
I don't think you've been on the show other than that.
No, we did the show at live at
we were at that pizza place,
Yeah.
RC's or something.
RC's Pizza.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give RC's an awesome plug. They have the best wings. OMG. So
Really?
So if you go to RC's Pizza, Booty Road at Rayford, they have incredible wings. So if you want some awesome wings, go there. So
Worst spelled street ever. Because you tell people go to Booty, it's looking like Booty.
Yeah.
It's like no, that's not it.
No,
Budde.
Yeah, that's the one.
But we did have I did part of the show there.
Yep.
And so now I'm back.
Nice. But this is first time in the studio.
Yeah, first time in the studio.
Yeah. So let everybody know who you are, what you do.
Yep. So what's up, everybody? This is Freddie P. Freddie Polymeris, your real estate pro, and I'm a real estate broker here in the Woodlands, and just staying really busy right now. Obviously, everyone wants to know what's happening in real estate, and there's always something going on. And right now, we're entering another shift. One thing that people have really did in 2021, which there wasn't a lot of homes for sale. There was, I think we were down like 50%
on our inventory
of the inventory homes for sale. In a normal world, it takes, let's say on June 1st, if no more homes were listed, it would take.
What'd you do?
There was an emergency. It's
Yep.
fine.
We said something that
No, we just click off of it like everybody does. Emergency, stop. Go away.
I know
flood.
this
It's
one's all the way.
fine.
This one's all the way in Buddha, so it didn't really affect me right now. But in a normal situation, it takes about 180 days to sell all the inventory online. So, like in our local market here, which is Har, it would take 6 months to sell everything that's listed online. Last year, we were averaging 11 to 12 days
Oh my goodness.
to sell everything like at a snap, which is like
That's unheard of.
ludicrous speed.
Yeah,
You seen
Luda.
Spaceballs?
Yeah.
They have light speed, they have warp speed, and
got
they have when you go to Plaid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know what you're saying.
So we were in ludicrous speed last year. Now things have slowed down a little bit. You know, it tends to slow down November, December, January.
Uh-huh.
But still, I mean, anything that's listed for more than like 10 days is like, what's wrong with this property?
Yeah.
You know, we're still in that mode.
So
Clearly the dead body's still inside, right?
Yeah. They haven't cleared. Yeah, just throw the chalk line.
Yeah,
Fresh.
that's right. So here's what I think everybody was predicting. Everybody was predicting that the market would stabilize as far as, you know, at some point we couldn't hold this pace forever, mainly because the inventory was going to run out, right? Eventually people are going to get scared. They're going to sell their house, but they're not going to be able to buy anything else because it's going too quickly. So they may get premium dollar on their house whenever they sell it really quickly, but then they're not going to be able to buy anything. So the inventory was going to run out. It's kind of the prediction that I was hearing from time to time. Now, here's my question. It's slowed down a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. But have the prices shifted very much? Are prices coming down, or are we still seeing, because it's still happening quickly, that we're still getting over asking price, all that kind of stuff? What's happening with all that?
Pricing is increased. So
It's increased.
So last year, it's gonna be something's gonna have to happen where it's like a cataclysmic event for the prices to come back down. Mm-hmm. They're not coming down because of mortgage fraud like in 07, 08, and 12 years ago.
We addressed that.
Yeah.
Right.
So like those things are not gonna happen anymore. But it's going to take something huge, and I don't know what this could even be, for the prices to really drop like they did back then. So last year, the prices in some areas went up 20% in 1 year.
That's a ton.
From 2020 to 2021. So I actually had someone that bought a house in 2020, just a regular Lennar house, $180,000. They sold it for $245,000 in like 16 months.
Oh my goodness.
So they walked away with like $56,000.
Yeah.
After closing costs, commissions, fees, title, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, in months. That's a low priced home. And I mean, but that's just one small little example of what happened all over the entire country. I mean, this goes on in every state. In almost 90% of cities, this explosion has happened, and it's going to cause a lot of people to not be able to buy a home.
Yeah,
because you're moving prices up so much. We went up 14% to 20% in some areas in 1 year. This year, they're expecting another 6% increase from 2021.
So in 2 years, we're looking at a 26% increase.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Yeah. Nuts.
Because again, it kind of goes back to my problem the problem that I stated, which was people are going to be scared of selling because they're afraid they're not going to be able to purchase anything. They can't afford the purchase price of the thing they want, even though they're getting ridiculously top dollar for their home.
Right.
They're getting more equity out of their home than they ever could have thought about getting. So here's a question. How many people are you finding that are going, I'm not going to sell, I'm just going to rent my house, because the renter's market is ridiculous too, right?
Renter's market, yeah, it's also gone up, just not as fast as the sales. Now, something interesting, in 2021, just as you just said, a lot of people sitting on the sidelines, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so all those people, millions and millions and millions of people sat on the sideline in 2021. Those people in 2022 are probably still buyers and sellers. Mm-hmm. They're still thinking about moving, right?
Oh, yeah.
Along with the new people that would traditionally be moving.
Okay.
So now we had the people from last year.
You mean the people who are like aging up into adulthood that would now become new home buyers?
Exactly.
First-time home buyers.
Well, either first-time home buyers or the people that are just getting to that time, right?
Yeah.
So, like, let's say last year.
They're finally ready.
They're finally ready to make a move.
Right.
And they're finally ready. Now they're also finally ready with the people last year that have been waiting for this year.
Yeah.
So now you have another situation to where you're going to have a lot of people still that are still looking for homes. Mm-hmm. You have last year and now you have this year.
Yeah.
So it's created another situation where we're going to have another year of low inventory. We're not going to have enough inventory to fit the demand. So it's going to be bumping our prices up and up. Because if the house is clean and the house is in decent shape,
it's going to sell.
It's going to sell, and it's going to sell for more money than it's listed. Because
do you think a lot of that is because I see a lot of these builders trying to be aggressive in building houses, particularly around here.
Right.
I mean, like we have multiple new developments, but it's hard to get like a new house in there because materials are short, and it seems like labor is short. So I mean, like you have that compounding the issue, right? I mean, like these guys are like, look, we have buyers. We just can't get the houses together quick enough in order to feed the demand.
Right. And the builders are in a pretty good spot. One, they have plenty of buyers.
Yeah.
Plenty of buyers. But like you just said, they have a material problem.
Yeah.
You know, they have a not necessarily a wood problem like they did last year, but
wood's gotten better.
Woods and lumber's okay. It's all the small things. It's the hardware. It's the handles that goes on doors. It's the hardware that goes on your cabinets. Mm-hmm. It's all the extra little things that people don't even think about that we're having a problem getting. Some of it's appliances.
I was going to say appliances are huge. Yeah. I mean, you can't get appliances for the house.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't have the chips. You don't have the chips put in the for some of the high tech refrigerators.
Well, I mean, it was how many months ago was it that we had Megan on where she was?
Oh, I mean, it's been a while, but
she was. I mean, she was saying the other day that like they're still waiting.
Yeah,
like some people are still waiting on things that they ordered from them, and
they're
like,
months out. Months and months and months.
Yeah. And
it's nuts.
And it's like it's not their fault.
Right.
They just can't get the product.
Nope.
Yeah. They can't get it shipped from China. They're like, it's sitting in the South Sea somewhere.
What did you see the deal? I saw a couple people reporting on it this week that now it's not necessarily that it's sitting on a boat out in the Pacific, that now it's actually in train yards, but people have figured out that and I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, where they're not getting arrested for robbery, and so they're looting the train yards because they know that those trains are just sitting there because they don't have enough people to move them, and so they're literally just emptying train cars.
I saw it. It's
you
horrible.
You saw some of the pictures. Yeah,
it looks like India with all the trash they just tear open tens of thousands of boxes and steal everything. And I don't know who's paying for that. Is Amazon giving them a refund for all those things that didn't ever arrive at their house?
Yeah.
I mean, I hope everyone takes a look at that and goes, there's a major problem here of train robbery. As weird as that sounds.
What are we in the?
We should note that
Freddie
went pretty hard on India right there.
Yeah, he did. I'm just wondering.
I've seen Slumdog Millionaire.
That's right. Are we in the mid 1800s robbing street train cars again?
Well, they didn't do it on horseback.
Well, I don't know. Did you see any horses?
I know the kinds of people that would. Yeah, it's just not.
Okay.
Did you see any law enforcement?
No, of course not.
Well, they're not getting if they are getting arrested, they're getting a $3 PR bond, and then they're getting released. So
they're not getting. No, I'm just saying they're robbing train cars.
Yeah.
That's not something you hear these days.
It's not.
It's
but
happening, man.
It is. It's ridiculous.
So back to the story.
Sorry.
So go back. It is hard to finish homes. Builders they're stretched as much as they can, but right now is their time because they have lots of buyers that need to buy homes. So
do you think, because I know this is something we were talking about before the show, do you think what's happening with foreclosures right now is going to provide, and I I hate to use it like this because I hate the idea of anybody being kicked out of their home. Right. But we've had a long pause on foreclosures, and it seems like they're opening that back up now. Do you think that could potentially provide some relief to the demand in the market? Because some of those, some people like buying foreclosures.
Yeah, I think it's going to help some. It's going to help the smart, educated buyers that have money, that have beans. It's not going to help 98% of your general first-time home buyer that's looking on Zillow to buy a house. Right? It's
So for people that are listening that may not know what we're talking, what's happening with the foreclosure market? Because and you can probably explain this.
Yeah. So they put a forbearance out. So if you could not make your mortgage payment, then it was deferred. So you basically went, I want to say it was like 8 to 10 months of not making a mortgage payment.
Right.
But then that ended in September, I believe, or October. And so then they're saying, okay, we need to catch you up. But they kind of did it to where if you didn't pay, they put all of that money and all that interest on the back of your loan. Okay. So it almost doubled like your year. Like, let's say if you would have made your yearly payment, let's just say your yearly taxes, insurance, principal was like $1,000 a month. Let's just say, make numbers real easy.
Yeah.
So you paid $12,000 a year, right? On those things, on your payment. Like, that bubbled into, like, let's say about $18,000 that they put on the end of your loan. So not only were people not paying their principal and their insurance, but they weren't paying their taxes. And that's created another issue with people not paying their taxes because the tax authority, like let's say here in Montgomery County, they need those taxes to pay for roads, to pay for police, firefighter, all the basic necessities that we have here. And so they are going to foreclose on, the number came out the other day, I heard, like 1 out of 11 homes right now are behind on payments. I mean, it's a big, big, big number.
I mean, that starts sounding like 2008 kind of stuff.
It kind of does, you know. So it, again, we're almost splitting like the middle class is like getting thin, and you're either kind of be like on the haves and the have-nots, and it's kind of really like splitting that right now.
Yeah.
So I was telling people, if you can, this was last year, if you can, keep making your payment if you can.
Yeah.
Some people couldn't because, your kids are at home and you work at a place where you can't work remotely, and you worked at a store, let's say, and you can't be home with your kids that are home from school and they're 5 years old. So you have to stay home with them.
Yeah.
So you don't have employment. So, it created a bubble. So there will be a lot of foreclosures coming up, but most of the people that are going to be buying those will be big hedge fund corporations.
Yep.
Companies like Open Door will come in and they'll buy a bunch of properties. Hedge funds like BlackRock will come in and they'll buy a bunch of properties. So there won't be as many like going around. There's going to be like major corporations and hedge funds that come in and are going to be a big, big buyer.
Yeah, and once they do, I mean, people living in those homes are going to get a big wake up call.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. It's gonna hurt.
Well, like one of the things that you said in there that kind of freaked me out a little bit is the fact that when people are over leveraged and they haven't made a sufficient down payment on a home, they have to pay the mortgage insurance.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And if they haven't been paying that, what does that mean for the bank? That's why I say it sounds like 2008 kind of stuff, because if they're allowing people to live month after month after month, like you're looking at like over 12 months now where they haven't been paying mortgage insurance, which means that the bank can't recover any of that, right?
Yeah. Well, the bank's I think they're gonna recover most of their money because the prices of homes have gone up so much,
Oh, they're going to get it.
they're going to be able to get their money back.
Sure.
Because if they've gone up 26% in 2 years,
That's more than PMI.
then so they're going to be fulfilled. They're going to be fine. But it's
But not until they sell it.
but not until they sell it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a situation that is going to be hard to get out of for a lot of people, and you can't refinance if you've taken that.
Have you taken forbearance?
If you've taken forbearance, and I've had a couple people reach me and say, "Hey, I have equity and I want to refinance now." If you've taken that forbearance and you need to make, I think it's at least 3 or 4 payments back
That's all.
before you can start to refinance.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Before you can start to refinance.
You basically got to show some history that you can pay it
So for
before they're going to let you.
Exactly.
For most people, I'm guessing that's close to like $6,000. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm averaging it out, but I'm guessing that's probably about what it's like around $2,000 a month, right?
Yeah. So, well, it's obviously everyone's going to be a little bit different on that
Right.
regard, but
Having access to that kind of cash, though, I mean, like for some people is just not doable. They don't have it.
so now the situation is okay, you've been in 12 months forbearance, you haven't paid anything, we're going to redo your loan. So they're now redoing people's loans, and obviously if before you had a principal balance of $200,000, now your principal balance looks like $220,000.
Oh, so they're going to be redoing the loans, but based off the valuation of what the house is now.
Well,
The appraisal.
They're gonna do it whatever you didn't pay last year, plus fees,
Oh, geez.
plus
Okay.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Redoing your loan means more probably loan origination fees, all the BS that goes along with it. So like, they're not making it real easy to like get caught up.
Yeah.
It's like before I was paying $1,500. Well, my new note is $1,700.
Yeah.
You
It's just
know,
not in the budget.
and I owe an extra 5 years because I'm starting all over.
Yeah,
You know.
that 1 year or is going to cost you 5.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And at the new price,
At the new interest
and
right
the
now,
new
interest rates are going up.
Yep.
So if you got a loan 2 years ago and you were at 3.25, and now you haven't paid in 12 months, and now you're looking at 4.
Yep.
So it gets ugly. It gets ugly quick.
Yeah. Well, and like you can't. I think most people are sort of staring down the barrel of a gun, right? Because they can't walk away from the property because they probably purchased it at a much lower price than what they could afford to buy something now in the area that they're in. Mm-hmm. Like you posted a listing today, right? It was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath in the Woodlands, right?
Right.
And what caught my eye about it is that you said this is a great price for this property.
Right.
Right? Do you remember what the price was on it?
$525.
Jesus. So go.
The house will be gone tomorrow.
Which, if you're listening to the show in California, you're like, that sounds amazing. But like for us,
That's double.
2 years ago, what would that house have sold for?
That house probably high fours. The thing is, that house is like, I feel like that house is like super cheap for the area that it's in. I feel like that house will just like, it'll be like pending tomorrow.
What part of the Woodlands is it in?
Creekside.
Creekside. Okay.
And it had a pool.
Yeah, and it has a pool.
So like,
So it's a nice house. Don't get me wrong. Like it's a nice house, but like it's not sitting on 2 acres. It's not like
Yeah.
like to pay $500,000 for that house. Like I'm sorry, I'd never do that.
Right.
And so these people who are in a tight spot, like if they were in a 4.2 in the similar area and they bought it for like $400, and they're looking at like 5.5 now, that's ridiculous for them. I mean, like they can't afford that.
yeah.
Especially if they haven't been able to pay their mortgage for like the last however many months or whatever. Like, and so like rocking a hard place, man. Like,
Yeah.
How do you like one? What do you even do if you've been in forbearance and you're like, I just want to sell it? What do you even do?
No, you can sell it. You can sell it. The problem is like most financial companies like banks, credit unions, they're giving you like, okay, you need to sign here.
Uh huh.
And you have to sign. They've been putting a lot of pressure on these home buyers to sign on the dotted line to go ahead and approve this refinance.
Okay.
Right. As soon as they sign on that dotted line, your principal balance just went up $20,000 or whatever it may be in their area. Mm-hmm. So even if you try to sell it now, I was telling someone like 3 months ago, if you don't sell right now, like it doesn't matter to me, but I'm just telling you, if you don't sell it right now and you want to sell it in 6 months from now, you're going to lose $20,000 waiting 6 months because they're going to refinance your loan. Mm-hmm. They're going to change your loan to where they're going to add all this money at the end of it. Like, you need to do this right now if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And so she decided to stay in her house. Totally cool. I think she's going to be able to make her payments.
Yeah.
But I was just like, if you don't do this right now, they're going to get you.
Yeah.
So
they're always going to get their money.
Yeah. So there's a lot of changes coming up in 2022. It's going to be an interesting time for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there a break point in the price of a house or a property to where it feels like it's not so much of a shift? Like, I would think anything between like 200 and 350 is just like, you can't buy those because they're just going to go and people are going to pay whatever they have to pay. They're going to go quick, and maybe even all the way up to 400. Is there a point, a number? Is it 650, 700, 800, 1 million? Is there a point at which it slows down a little bit and people are not going crazy?
I would say within our 10-mile radius of like the Woodlands, or maybe even 10-mile radius of Conroe, the number goes up to $1 million, $1.5 million.
Wow.
To where,
You mean once you get outside those areas?
like up to that. Well, let's say like Woodlands, Montgomery, most parts of the west side of Conroe, like on the lakeside. I mean, there is no like safe zone, safe area to where like those prices aren't just doing like this. It's almost like, back in the day when you were trying to buy something on eBay and like you put in your bid at like $10 and someone came in at like $10.50, then you went into it at $11. Like, people are still doing that, and it's everywhere. I mean, it's every property. It's because, like I said, you have all the people that sat on the sideline in 2021, along with those people that just got married 2 months ago, and they're ready to buy now too.
Yeah,
And the inventory's low.
but it also seems like the really expensive ones are still selling too.
Well, that's what he's saying is like all the way up to like 1.5, they're still selling.
But I mean, like when you would see like a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house that was like $1 million, right? I mean, like it used to sit on the market for a while because there's not that many buyers at that price point, right?
Right.
But like now it seems like, well, that's just the way it is.
Here's a funny. This is last week. Last week, there was a house that I would say 6 or 7 people had shared, that agents had shared. Man, this is a really nice house. So it was this nice house in, I want to say Montgomery or
What do you
Conroe.
mean by agent shared it?
So like I saw one agent like share the listing.
Oh,
like
shared. I got you. Okay.
They shared the listing on Facebook.
They weren't like all living there together.
Right. So I saw one agent share the listing on their page, and another agent saw it and was like, wow, that's a really nice house. They shared it on another page. So I saw this one house that was $1.7 million get shared like by 4 or 5 different agents.
Yeah.
That house sold in one day.
Oh my goodness.
One day. It was one day on the market.
That's crazy.
To get it one day on the market, that means someone has to either buy it sight unseen or literally go to the house at 9 a.m., spend the next 4 hours writing the offer, and then they accept at 10 o'clock that night.
Right.
One or the other.
Wow.
Like that.
Gone.
That fast. I mean, it's 1.7 used to sit around for like 3, 4, 5 months.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That's very normal for anything over like $1.5 million. A day.
Yeah.
A day, and it was gone.
That's crazy.
That means like if I had a buyer that wanted to buy that house on the first day, I lost that deal.
Couldn't. Yeah.
Like, hey, we'll go see it tomorrow.
Nope. No, you won't.
No, you won't.
Jeez.
Gone. It's probably a cash buyer too.
Well, and like there's
Yeah. Yeah.
and like I hope I'm not like, you know, showing the man behind the curtain here, but like there's other ways of doing that. Like this place, for instance, like I bought it before it was on the market.
Perfect.
You know, but like they put it on the market and then accepted my offer that we'd already talked about before it went on the market.
Smart.
You know, and so like you can do that. I mean, like it's
You can do anything.
you know
100%. Like real estate. I mean, in real estate, like there's 100 different ways to sell a house. And like obviously the most popular way that most people know about is putting your house on a MLS like Zillow or HAR, and then that's going to get your most views, right? Some people just stick a sign in the yard and says house for sale and their phone number.
yeah
And you can sell a house that way.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay anything. It's obviously a little bit more work and a little bit more knowledge of how to sell a home, but you can still do it that way. You could go to forsalebyowner.com, pay $149, list your house there, have people reach you directly, call you directly. I mean, you'll probably get 20 calls from real estate agents, but like that's just like another way to do it.
So is it on like the one you're talking about? Is that like just like a flat fee and they cover all like the paperwork and?
Right. So like, I want to say like there's a bunch of them. forsalebyowner.com, fsbo.com, which is
same thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so you pay like a flat fee. They give you some like tips. They kind of like say they'll help you with, or they do help you with some of the paperwork. I've never done it, but I'm just saying like that's kind of the
what
service
they say that they do.
Yeah. So I mean, some people just word of mouth. I mean that sells. I mean if you have a nice property, you tell your neighbor, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house. Hey, I have someone that wants to buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and I mean, I don't know how many people I've known over the years who have said, I want to buy that house, and they'd go over and knock on the person's house, can I buy your house? And every once in a while, it works.
yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, legitimately, this was back in 2005. I'd bought a truck in 2004, and I did all kinds of stuff to it. Put new rims on it, put a sound system in it, alarm system.
You're bumping?
With remote, oh yeah, with remote start. Like I had duals on the back, right? Like this thing was really, really nice. And I had a guy who's like, man, that's a really nice truck. Is it for sale? And I said, buddy, everything I own is for sale. Just depends on how much you want to pay for it. You know?
Numbers right.
I mean, you want to pay me $50,000 for this, which at the time was a lot for a truck. You pay me $50,000, I'll sell it right now. You know, so I think the price is right. You'll sell something. If someone walks up and knocks on your door, will you sell your house for $500,000? I paid $225,000. Heck yeah, I'll sell it.
Everything's for sale.
Everything's for sale. Everything I own is for sale, except like my family, right? Beyond that, everything I own is for sale. And so I think that on some level, you're right. I mean, there's 100 different ways to do a deal. I mean, my sister, she bought a house, and it was just an owner finance. She walked up. They said, hey, we want to buy the house. I said, sure. We want to pay this much. They said, sure. They said, we don't want to go through a bank. Can we owner finance? And he said, we'll pay you this much. And actually, it wasn't even one of those, we'll pay this much for the house. It was, we want to pay you this much money for 10 years. And the owner said, deal. That was the deal. I will pay. And it was something cheap, you know. It was like, pay you $1,000 for 10 years. And the owner was like, sure. And that was the deal. And you don't have to go through a bank. You don't have to go. There's no contract you even have to sign. It's like me walking over to Craig's house and saying, can I buy that guitar on the wall? Yeah. Okay. I want to pay you 100 payments of 14 cents. I don't know, whatever it is. Then he's like, okay, deal. And that's the deal.
Not for my guitar.
Not for that. Oh, I didn't. I was that one down there. The one on the floor, not the one on the wall.
That one right there, that'd be fine.
That's right. But like, I think that's the thing that we don't always understand is like, most of the time you're going to go through a realtor. Mm-hmm. Most of the time you're going to put it up on the MLS. But it's not always.
Oh, you don't have to. Like, I'm in I'm in one dad's group. Say I'm in a bunch of dads. I'm in one Facebook dad's group, and like, there's guys that ask real estate questions all the time, and I'll say I'm a real estate broker, but you don't have to use a real estate broker or real estate agent to sell your house.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to use a lawyer to go to court. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I would recommend that you would do some research before you just
jump out
and do it. But yeah, you don't need a real estate agent, because people ask all the time, do I need one? No, you don't have to have one. I mean, I wouldn't suggest you perform surgery on your cat, but you could do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I think that's part of the thing, though, is like, at the end of the day, that house, so it was a mobile home. Mm-hmm. That house was moved to their property. And at the end of the day, they just stopped paying for it. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
So that's why you go through realtors. That's why you go through the mortgage lenders. That's why you go through. There's some protection.
Right.
There's contracts involved, and there's legal stuff that is done. And I'm sure on some level there was more than just a handshake on that deal that they did. Like, surely there was some sort of a lawyer that wrote some sort of a contract that probably would hold up in court, right? But it can be done on a handshake.
Yeah, sure. You can definitely do it.
Yeah.
You can.
Like, well, we stopped paying. Is that okay?
Yeah.
They're like,
it's not. It's not okay. But what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I'm gonna go get a big old truck.
Big old truck. I got an F-750 over here. I'm gonna pull this thing off the blocks.
Super duper duty.
It's super duper doopy. It's the big daddy.
All right, man. So one of the reasons we wanted to talk to you is because at an event that you and I went to not too long ago, we met this guy that was doing crowdfunding for down payments.
Oh my God.
Yes. So this is cool.
Real quick, what's the name of the group that's doing that? Do you know?
It's CMG Financial.
CMG Financial. Okay.
Yes.
And as far as we know, they're the only ones that are doing this right now.
Yeah. So as far as I know, and as far as they know, they're the only ones that are doing it right now. So CMG Financial has a corporate office here in the Woodlands, and so they are kind of innovative in different types of lending. Obviously, there's always, like we said, 100 ways to skin a cat. Mm-hmm. So they have come up with an idea that to do, a GoFundMe style down payment.
Right.
So instead of and like we talked about, like if you're getting married, let's say, you send everybody a what do they call that? Like your marriage,
your announcement.
Your announcement,
yeah,
with a QR code,
yep,
to go to their crowdfunding page to help pay for their home,
right?
Or their down payment.
Their down payment, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a really cool idea. Obviously, there's stipulations to it and what they can and can't do, but it's basically an account that is made, and you just have people add money to your account.
Yeah.
Which is almost like what you would do with GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Right? GoFundMe's basically the same exact thing, but this is just for a specific type of loan. But I think they can go up to like a $400,000 loan on a house.
Okay.
So
that's kind of cool.
So yeah, we were saying like it'd be kind of funny, like you're like getting married and you're at your reception, and all of a sudden on the big screen a big QR code goes up there, and they're like, hey, if you didn't buy us any presents, just go to this website.
There you go.
And there you go.
Man,
pretty cool though.
That's a really, really smart thing to do. I mean, because at the end of the day, I've found that people will pay for just about anything.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, people will pay
or contribute
for,
to.
or contribute, pay. Like I literally think that people buy stuff so flippantly.
Oh yes.
I mean, it's just like, oh, I got $5. Yeah, I'll buy that. I got $10. Yeah, I'll. You need some help? I'll give that to you. Like, especially if you got cash in your pocket.
Yeah.
If you got cash in your pocket, you'll pay for anything.
There is something to be said about passing the hat.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's working out of guilt or it's like, oh, Freddie put something in, and I should probably put something in too. Like, whether it's that,
right.
or whether it's just, you want to look, look at what I just put in there. Whatever it is, it works.
Yeah. My best friend's kids always know who I am because they always had a photo up of me at their house from their wedding. And I was the best man, and then the maid of honor, we went around the reception dancing, getting people to stuff money into our
Oh,
Nice.
into your suit.
Yeah, in my suit and her dress, and so like there's a picture of us with like just money just like sticking out all over us. And so like that was our job, was like to go around and put a drink in somebody's hand and say, hey, you got any cash for the happy newlyweds? And
Nice.
man, they were forking it over like crazy.
Yeah.
We should have gotten out of there.
Yeah. Sorry, I paid for this tux.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think that it's smart.
Yeah.
I mean,
There was, when we were talking to him, wasn't there like, I think he was saying there's like a max that people could give for like tax purposes and things like that.
I think it was no more than 3.5% or maybe 5% of like the purchase price. I mean, it was quite a bit though.
Yeah, it was.
So I mean, if they're buying a $300,000 house, then they maybe max out at $9,000 or $12,000.
but that's
But
a
still.
decent down payment.
Yeah.
That's what it's for. I mean, it's a decent.
Yeah,
It's a decent help.
It's a big help.
Yeah.
So I mean, you basically could use that as most of your down payment, and you're basically just paying your monthly.
Yeah.
After that. So I mean, it's a pretty cool little setup that they've kind of evolved from. I don't know, because mortgage companies are always trying to think of like the next idea,
Right.
of what can we do to separate ourselves? What can we do that's a little bit different from all these other mortgage companies? So they come up with all of these ideas and all these different programs. And so CMG just happened to think of like this, GoFundMe style, which I was like, man, y'all should be like promoting this like hardcore, because it is a good idea. It's easy, and like, hey, you don't have to buy them a wedding gift. Just send them $200 on their home or whatever.
I kind of wonder if it's expensive for them just because they have to provide a lot of back end tech.
But do they? I mean,
I don't know.
I would think that it's such repeatable. It's so repeatable for them that likely it's not. I mean, unless there's just like tons of hosting, like server hosting type stuff.
I'm guessing that everybody that donates to it has to set up like an account. They have to like authenticate them. They
Probably.
have to, all that payment process stuff on websites is just expensive to build out.
Yeah.
But if they have it already,
Or if it's proprietary to them.
or maybe they're like stealing it from Patreon or something. I don't know. But who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. We tried to have them in here. They couldn't make it tonight.
I know. Joey, if you're listening, I'm upset at you.
Hey, come on now.
Had to go and be a good dad.
Yeah, I had to do a baseball thing.
Baseball thing, it's freaking like 20 degrees
I
outside.
know. Commissioner thing.
He's
I don't know
getting
what
his
they're
punishment
doing.
right now because it's cold out there.
Yeah. I hope they're outside on the field talking about it. But yeah, that's like the newest thing that has come out in the last couple months, and I was like, that would be really something to. I want to have someone do it just
to
to
see
see how it works.
Yeah.
Because I almost want to be like, hey, if you're getting married, you should use this type of program to fund your house that you want to buy after you get married or whatever. To me, like getting married or getting divorced would be two good times to do it.
Right?
So usually people getting divorced, they buy a lot of houses too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, they almost have to,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
unless they're going to move into an apartment or rental house, I mean, they're And instead of one house, you got to have two.
Yeah, they're home
There
buyers.
it goes. Yeah, they're home buyers. Okay, so let's see. We've covered price hikes.
Yeah.
We've covered foreclosures. We've covered crazy things related to getting down payments. What else have we not covered tonight that we planned on covering?
The only other thing that we didn't talk about was, and it's not really my realm, but it's interest rates.
Okay.
So just with inflation, and it looks like they're going to raise interest rates 2 or 3 times this year, which, we went down all the way to like 2.75-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Low.
And we're going to be like, I would say we're back in the 4s. I could be wrong, but I'm probably not. Like, we're going to be, which is 4 still not horrible.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, my house is at like 399, and that was 2017. And I feel really good about it still.
Yeah.
And I intentionally didn't refi because we would like to move, and so we didn't refi. But a lot of people did. If you're going to stay where you're at, you should have. But 399, that's still good.
Yeah.
You know?
It is.
Considering when we were kids.
Oh, it was like 14, 15,
Yeah.
16%.
Yeah.
I mean, and people would just be, screaming in the streets if they thought they had to pay that right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there's a couple of different things. It was normal, first of all.
It was normal.
Second of all, the houses weren't as much as they currently are. Third of all, you could put most homes on a 15 or 20-year note instead of a 30-year note.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot that's different. But that being said, 4% still feels pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I heard a story about, do you know who came up with the American Dream? About home ownership being the American Dream?
Banks.
Oh, yeah.
Is this a Cardone? You heard this from?
I don't know. I want to say I heard it
That's who I heard it
6
from.
months ago.
Yeah.
Maybe it was him. Maybe he was telling a story about, now that you say it, I think it was him that I listened to about the American Dream was banks, because banks needed something to loan.
They needed a product.
They needed a loan. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. I never had thought of it that way. And that's when they started building out neighborhoods.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people lived in buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Even in small towns, you had buildings that people would live in, quadplexes and different things like, apartments and things like that. So he's right. I mean, it's sort of a new-ish phenomenon that the American dream is to own your own home.
Yeah.
So,
Which, is kind of funny because we all know that one of the greatest things about homeownership is equity.
Right.
It's one of the greatest things about it. You're paying down something. You're paying interest, whatever, but that's normal. You're paying down something, now you own something. It's a piece of property that you own. It's yours. That's great.
yeah.
But it seems normal to us, but we've also been living in it for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
The point of the story that Freddie's talking about, though, is that most people, in order to afford the kind of home that they want, they have to put it on a 30-year note.
Yeah, have to.
And so, then you start seeing, by the time you pay it off, then you start seeing ads from Tom Selleck about how you need to reverse mortgage your home.
Yeah.
And because you've now retired and you can't afford
Right.
the upkeep on the home. So even if you have all the equity in the world, you don't have access to that capital.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to then try and get money from that. And so you sell it back.
Yep.
And so Cardone's whole thing was look, banks don't make money unless they're lending money.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize this. I think the last time I heard, banks can lend $20 for every dollar that they have.
That's a
which
lot.
that should disturb everybody.
Yeah. That sounds right, too.
That they can just create money out of nothing in order to lend you money.
So that they can make money.
So that they can make money as you pay it back. They're lending you pretend money that then you pay back with real money.
This sounds like
plus interest.
This sounds like Monopoly, only with a weird twist.
Yeah, it is. And so the point of that story was that look, they created this idea of the American dream in order to sell you a product so that they could loan more money.
Right.
Because banks primarily had loaned money to start businesses,
Mm-hmm.
but there's just a lot of people just don't have the temperament for that, so they're not loaning as much money. Well, how do you loan more money? Well,
Create new product.
Yep.
Well, see, you buy a house when you're 30. Let's say you buy a house when you're 35. You do a 30-year note.
Which is when most people are financially stable enough to do that.
Right.
Is 35.
Yep.
At 65, they pay it off.
Yep.
Then at 70, do they do a reverse mortgage?
Oh,
Yep.
my goodness.
God,
They got 5 years of.
they got hosed.
Yep.
Well, get you hosed, man.
Well, and like let's say you turn 65 in 2008.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Right? And which was the reality for some people,
Yep.
right? Like I've been working all my life to pay off this house. I bought it when I was 35. I'm paying it off when I'm 65, and now it's worth half of what I paid for it.
Jeez.
You know, they were selling houses. I remember this because I was trying to buy this house in like 2010 or 2009. You could buy a house in Houston that was like 5-6 years old for like $30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. 25,000, 30,000. Like homes that were like 1,800, 1,900 square feet, like pretty good shape. And they would be sitting there for like
Months.
3 months.
Yeah.
At like $30,000. I tried to buy one. That's the only reason I really know that story because I wasn't in real estate yet. But I was like telling my dad, Dad, give me $30,000 so I can buy this house.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time he gave me the money, the deal went. They sold it to somebody else. And
Right.
anyways, I never bought it. But like that was an actual thing.
Yeah.
In Houston, like that house right now is probably worth like $270.
Jeez.
And someone bought it for like 30, 35.
They look like a genius right now, right?
Yeah, and they probably bought 10 of them.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'll make a bold prediction. I think we're going to see that again. I don't think it's going to go that low, but I think we're going to see it again.
We should. I just don't know when.
I don't. Yeah, that's the thing is no one ever knows when, but I think it is going to happen relatively soon.
We're supposed to be in like 10 to 12 year cycles.
Yeah.
You know, in 08 was like a weird one.
It was.
Just because.
It's manufactured.
Yeah. 500 credit score. Sign right here, sir. But it's. I would like to, because right now it's not really that fun to be a real estate agent unless you're only doing listings.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have any buyers, it's extremely hard.
Yeah.
I wrote probably 10 contracts for one buyer this last year. When we would go see a house, write a contract, full price. I mean, it was never under full price. It was
Right.
always full price. Plus, hey, how about 2 free weeks in your house after the deal closes so you can move our stuff out? Yeah, they took a better offer.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because there was 13 of them. 13 better offers.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would I like it when it's 50-50, when it's even. Because when it's like, 90-10, it hurts. It's real estate agents. People think, oh man, the market's great. Prices are going up. I'm sure you guys are loving it. And real estate agents really don't like that.
Yeah.
It makes our job a lot harder.
Yeah. So can they actually do that? They can set up does the listing agent set the rate that the buying agent gets?
Yes. Well, technically the seller
Authorizes
what the listing agent and the buyer's agent are paid.
Okay.
But it's typically 3-3, right? Typically.
Yeah, in most scenarios, yes. But like I have one that is it's a brand new house, and it's for like $600,000+, and we did all the paperwork, everything's signed, everyone's signing off. At probably like the last 2 things that need to be signed off on, they're like, oh, they're only paying 2% on this house and not 3%. Which was fine. I mean, it was for a good friend of mine from like elementary school.
Uh-huh.
So I wasn't like gonna piss and moan about it.
Right.
I just kind of was like, sure about that?
Could we have a recount,
It
please?
it went from an $18,000 commission, which is great,
Sure.
to a $12,000, which is still great,
But
Sure.
it's $6,000.
but it's still $6,000.
Yeah.
So I have to at least be like,
A little bit pissed.
I mean,
But yeah.
Yeah. So like, and that was like the deal was already agreed upon. Everything was signed. They even had 3% that they were paying on their paperwork.
Jeez.
And then they're like, oh, by the way, I did that wrong.
Oh,
That's what the
That's
agent
shady.
told me.
that's shady.
She goes, "Oh, I'm really sorry I did that." She goes, "I'm really sorry I did that wrong."
Well,
I
you
go-
know what? Like, you can pay me $6,000 out of your commission then. How about that?
And
I'm really sorry I didn't twist that knife as I stuck it in your back.
Right.
the
Right.
only thing that made me feel a little bit better, and not that it really did, but like I went to some of her other listings for that same builder, and those were at 2%. So it was more of like a clerical error,
Right.
But I mean, still,
I thought
it's
you
a
were going to say
$6,000 error.
I thought you were going to say she like fell and broke her arm or something. That made you feel a little bit better.
And the fact that my foot was out there made me feel better. But I mean, so 3 and 3 is what you normally will see, and I can't even say that because that's actually, for even me to say it, that's normal, is actually against the rules. You're not supposed to say, because there is no set normal commission, because it could be 4 and 4. What if you told the seller, I'm going to do an extremely awesome job, I'm going to sell it for more than anybody else, but I need 8% because I'm going to mail every millionaire in Texas about your house.
Okay.
So I need 8%.
How often does that happen?
Well, I was going to say, does that happen on like higher value listings? Because they're harder to move.
Well, sometimes. Well, right now, no, but
I'm talking like $4 or $5 million.
Okay, did you see the listing in LA? 52 million.
yeah, whose house was that?
Well, it's the big. I don't know, but it's like 50. I think it's like 50,000 square feet.
It's an acre.
But it's only. Yeah, but here's the thing: it's only on 3 acres.
Wow.
But it is the largest. I
compound.
believe it's the largest house in the country. And it overlooks L.A. Like it's up on a hill. You can see the entire city, and it's absolutely stunning. I think there's something like 35, 40 rooms, like bedrooms in it. It's unbelievable. I don't even know who owns it, but it's serious. I think it's like $53 million.
Wow, it's probably like David Geffen or.
I need to go. All right, now I got to go look.
It's probably. You know what the funny thing is like, and I'm sure that house is just so over the top, incredible in every single way. But like Elon Musk is like, I want to sell I don't even want a house.
Yeah, he sold all this property
Because I don't want anything to.
Well, he wants to live
in
he wants to live in a small home that's smart. That's what he wants to live in.
Yeah,
Like a solar powered. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So here's when you guys were talking about that, I was thinking about the story that I saw and I found it. So it is this home in San Francisco that just sold for nearly $2 million, and it's condemned.
What?
So San Francisco will be the first domino, in my opinion, to fall, and it's gonna fall hard. San Francisco is so. I mean, the real estate price in San Francisco is so incredibly, ridiculously high.
Have you seen this property that I'm talking about?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can.
All right, y'all. All right, I'm wrong. Are y'all ready for this?
It wasn't 54,000
No.
square feet.
No, it was a lot. It was a lot more than that.
Wow.
So this house is first of all, it's in LA. It is listed at $295 million. It's 105,000 square feet.
Holy cow!
And it's got
That's over 2 acres.
So it's got okay. So I was wrong about the 40 bedrooms. It's got 40 bathrooms. 41 bathrooms, 42 actually. 21 bedrooms, 42 bathrooms, multiple pools. There's a nightclub in it. A full-blown nightclub with a VIP area, a bowling alley, a 40-seat movie theater, a full-service hair salon, 30-car garage, and that's just part of the stuff that it's got. But it's
sounds like
200
Prince's house in Minnesota.
Yeah, but it's 290.
Wow.
I mean, but look at this thing. I mean, that is a gorgeous home. and it's $295 million.
But
so
what do you?
But see how it just
Why?
Well, yeah, exactly. Do you want to stay home all the time?
That's a cult. That's what that is. A cult lives there.
I mean, yeah.
No,
that would be okay.
That would be okay. There's something.
As long as I'm the leader.
It's like being an admin on a Facebook page.
Yeah,
As long as I'm the leader, I'll do anything. But no, I think that I don't know what you would do with it. It's a status symbol. That's all this thing is. Is the largest city in America. 105,000 square feet, really? 105,000? What?
How many women come with it?
Probably
Zero.
as million.
And in real life, probably hundreds.
As many as you would like.
If it's more than one,
Really?
it's too many.
No, that's right. It's like, I hope none. But 40 seat movie theater, and
Wow.
anyway,
I mean, yeah, that would be cool, I guess, but like, it would be, I don't know. I guess someone has to, but like, I don't even know why I know this. This is so embarrassing to say. And I probably saw this on a Facebook reel or an Instagram reel, but like, Kim Kardashian says to Kanye, he says something about their swimming pool. And she looks at him and goes, I've never used our pool. And he was like, huh?
what?
Like, she doesn't even use, like, when they live together or married, she's like, I never used our pool one time.
What?
But, like, if you own something like that, like, how many times do you, like, go bowl?
Right, yeah.
Every hour. I am throwing one ball every hour. It's going to take me a day to bowl a game, but I am using the bowling alley.
We've really underestimated the value of professional bowling. Apparently these guys are rolling in it.
Well, but you know what? Like, it's one of those things there's like, what's the most outlandish thing I can put in my house? A bowling alley.
Next to the club.
I mean.
But not just the club. I want the VIP, section in the club. Like,
absolutely.
You live there.
Right.
Just go to your room. I mean, it's like, are there bouncers there?
Like, I promise there's a room not being used.
Yes.
Here, it's 21 bedrooms.
It's like, do y'all ever watch Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
John Ralphio is like, place so exclusive, even I'm not allowed
in
it.
I mean, it's just like, hey, let's go to the club. We're at, come to my house, man. I got a club here.
Third door on the right.
Yeah. It's like, hey, man, we're going to sit in VIP today. It's Tuesday. Okay, man, it's all good.
Tuesday.
Tacos.
Yeah. It's like, I know. That's why I invited you, because it's Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
If it was Friday, I wouldn't have invited you.
Oh, man, that is just so outlandish. I mean, I guess that's just how people want to spend their time. I think California, the being outdoors in California is like the best thing about that.
Oh yeah,
about that state. The outdoor things you can do there is awesome.
Yeah,
but to stay in your house, I don't get that.
No, and by the way, that home is only $785,000 in Texas. So.
Yeah, really.
Just saying.
Yeah, that house in Cleveland is like half a mil.
That's right.
Sorry, Cleveland.
And it's on 45 acres.
Yeah, seriously.
And the meth lab next door is also for sale.
Oh man, we've digressed. I promise. This has not gotten better as we've gone on.
Yeah,
people have stopped listening.
Well, he's been on the show, but he hasn't done.
That's true.
He hasn't done the thing.
He hasn't done the thing.
Yeah.
Do you know about the thing? Are you familiar with the thing?
No, I didn't know there was what thing am I supposed to do?
It's pretty simple. It's the Final Four. That's right. It's the Final Four questions we ask all of our guests, and so since you're our guest, you get to participate in the Final Four for the first time. I guess I just wasn't thinking about the fact that he's never done it.
Yeah.
And so, look, everybody's actually been sitting here going, could they get through the stupid $295,000 million thing, just so we can
wanna
get
hear
to the Final Four.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they're here. So,
Okay, sweet.
Final Four questions. Here we go. You ready?
Is this like Family Feud?
No, I don't get a shot.
No,
Oh, okay.
no. He doesn't remember any of the questions. So here we go. What's the must-have tool you won't leave your house without?
Phone.
Oh, man. You and every other person.
Damn it.
No, it's fine. It's good. It's the answer. Everybody knows it's the answer.
I was going to say hammer.
Oh, you should have said hammer.
I was going to say hammer.
What are you going to
I
use
don't
a
think
hammer?
anyone's ever said hammer
No,
before.
the hammer's the least used thing.
Damn it, I should have said hammer.
It's like, oh, that's what that little loop on my Dickies is for. I carry a hammer around
All
everywhere
these
now.
years.
So yesterday I actually I took my kids and we had to hammer down a sign in a yard.
Yeah, okay.
So I have to have a hammer.
I mean, some
But-
phones would work for that as well.
Yeah, seriously.
It just FYI, is your wife's name Megan?
Yes.
Okay, she's watching, so behave yourself.
Oh. Okay,
Hey,
good.
chill. Careful, fellas. Careful.
She also likes the so.
Okay, good.
Of course she does.
Good.
Apparently you're doing all right.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Is she? If you haven't, y'all, look, we are one like away on Facebook from 2,000. Could you please, somebody right now,
Send some
stop
love.
pause it, do whatever you have to do, go freaking like the show on Homeowners Show on Facebook. All right, next question. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, what's a job you walked away from? Now, we have to tell everybody that this question was poorly written because we meant what's a project at your house that you started and you didn't finish, and so you had to call in a contractor because you decided I couldn't finish it. But that's not what we wrote. We wrote, what's a job you walked away from? So take it however you want to. Maybe it's a career. Maybe it's an actual project. But what's a job you walked away from?
So I used to work at this golf course when I was 19, maybe. Okay, so I worked at this golf course, and it was where, like, I worked at the little golf cart barn,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you,
The cart shed.
yeah. So you go there in the morning at 5:30. You get there, you open it up, and you start driving the carts out, so where people come up and take off. They say, don't link all the carts together and drive them out, because if you forget to unplug the battery,
Because they plug up above.
yeah, the plug up above, yeah, you'll yank it out,
Right.
right? So, like, maybe, my third month there, I'm like, because it's like, you drive one, then you go get the next one. You drive one, you go get the next one. Well, I'm like, I'm just going to drive three up, drive three.
Sure.
What do?
Forget.
Forget the battery. Boom, pulled it out. Man, this guy rips me a new one. Okay. So about another month later, I'm like, man, let me just hurry this up. Boom! Did another one. I finished that. I go, hey, man, I got to go.
I'm out.
Bayshore Country Club in LaPorte, I'm sorry. I busted two of them batteries.
Those chargers are expensive, man.
That's why I left. I knew that was it.
It was coming out of the paycheck.
Yeah. That $200 battery wasn't worth the $200 paycheck. So
You're out. Peace.
yeah, I walked away from that job.
That's probably one of the better answers that we've had.
You busted it? Yeah. Peace out.
About,
And I'm out.
but what's funny is he actually finished the job before. Hey, by the way, I'm not gonna be back. Like he got all the rest of them out.
Well, because that core's just hanging there, dude. It's like you walk into the barn and you just got that core just hanging there. It's like Mr. Obvious over here.
We all know what you did.
That's good. I like that. I got a good laugh out of that. All right. Third question. How do you wind down at the end of a long day?
So I like to drink whiskey, and so I probably pour probably a good whiskey and just kind of chill.
Okay.
Now, I have two boys, And so coming home from work, there's a lot of playing and wrestling and all that other
It has
good
to be
stuff.
done.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I wrestled before I came here.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, I wrestled.
That's what good dads do.
I wrestled a 6-year-old.
Good for
So-
you.
Did you
win?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I dominated.
Well, so like every once in a while,
Yeah, you got to let them win every
they'll
once
get
in
a shot in.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah. No, they.
And it really only takes one shot.
I just say, yeah.
In one shot,
one.
perfectly placed. I'm out. I'm
yeah.
out.
I've let them win. It's 2 versus 1. It's a
Okay.
6 and a 9 versus me. So yeah, they're
The 9-year-old, that 9-year-old's a lot bigger than we give them credit for.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
And he's 80 pounds of flour. So.
Yeah, so thankfully, my 9-year-old's the girl, and she's timid.
Oh, okay.
But my 7-year-old makes up for it, man. Like, he does not care. He's like Supermaning off of the ottoman.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you just, like, I can't walk for 3 days. Thank you. Broke 4 ribs.
Yeah.
And he's singing, I got you this time, Daddy. I'm like, yeah, you did. You did. I lost.
That kid's like a hockey puck.
He is, man. He is. Oh, well, you got one, too. You got a hockey puck.
I do.
Your hockey puck outweighs my 9-year-old. But it's all good. Yep. She's awesome. All right. Last question. What's one of the best pieces of wisdom or advice that you've ever received?
Ooh, goodness. Wow, that's a tough question. Just because I feel like I've received so many good pieces of advice. So I'll say this. So I'm wearing an Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminate Hate shirt.
All right.
And so Arnold was always I always liked Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, even though they're a little corny, right?
Sure.
But he always had like the funny lines, you know, like the funny 2 or 3 word line,
Yeah.
you know.
Who
So
is your daddy and what does he do?
yeah. I'll be back.
Yeah.
You know, he has all the all the funny stuff. So, but he had a motivational video that came out in like 2010 or 11, and it always stuck with me. It always stuck with me for whatever reason. Like I heard it and I couldn't like let it go. And I listened to it probably like 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And it was like Arnold's 6 Rules of Success. And it's like, it's a pretty popular YouTube video, but it's, I just always listen to that. And it was always like, work your butt off. Don't listen to the naysayers. Once you make it, turn around, pick someone else up. It was just like his rules of success, and I would just listen to it over and over and over and over again. And like, that's what kind of made me go away from my job, which I was, a travel agent,
Oh, okay.
to getting into real estate, because I would listen to that video and he was always like, do whatever you feel like is right in your heart. Like, don't listen to what other people say. If you know something's right, go after that. Like, don't listen to what other people think. And so, like, I always listen to that, and I would just play it, and I would listen to it, and I just was like, I'm going to go for real estate. Even though I had no experience, which obviously everyone starts out with no experience.
Right.
But, like, I was afraid to, like, jump into it. And so, like, Arnold, by him just, like, almost being in my mind of telling me, like, hey, you can do this. Like, don't listen to what other people are saying. Like, do whatever you think is best. Like, that gave me, like, the courage to, like, let me go ahead and do this. So, like, even though I've had, like, so many great people that I've listened to in podcasts and this, that, and the other, like, he was one of the first people, I would say, that, like, really kind of, like, stuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I don't agree with all the stuff he says
Sure.
lately, but, like, those things, like, really, like, stuck. So,
Yeah.
I would say,
It is the good ones are the ones that stick with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I even probably listened to it, like, a month ago. So, and it's probably at least 10 years ago. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Pretty good stuff.
Nice. Well, so You go ahead and get it out. We lied to you. And there's a secret fifth question, which kind of sucks for us because it doesn't work well into the show. But Craig gets to ask this question. So go ahead.
It's the only one I can remember.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. If people want to find you, how do they get a hold of you?
Okay, so if you want to find me, you can find me as under my company name, which is therealtybridge.com. You can find me at Freddie Palomares on Facebook, or you can just call me directly. My number is 832-606-3709. That's my direct cell, and if you have any real estate questions, I'd be happy to help you out.
Cool. Is there email or website or anything like that?
Yeah, so just therealtybridge.com.
Okay.
We have all of like our listings, and I put in like hours and hours and hours of like time in the website, so finally got to where it needs to be.
Nice.
So
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
yeah, building websites and those type of things, it's tough.
Yeah.
Building logo, just getting a logo together is hard.
Yeah, it is.
Me and my guy Eric Jackson, I said I want so finally got a name, the Realty Bridge, right? Like making strong connections and crossing over from like home ownership.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want a bridge, but I want to build a home logo in the bridge.
Okay.
And so like we went over like 20 different like drawings, and we finally like got it just right. So I'm like really proud of like the logo and what it came to.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just because it's something that we created, so it's pretty cool.
Branding is really important.
Yeah.
I mean, your brand
It's
is
gonna be with you a long time.
yeah, it's super important.
Yeah.
So, cool. Well,
Appreciate it, guys.
No,
Yeah,
man.
no, thank you for coming.
Yeah, it's been a great episode. Thank you for updating us on all the things. We speculate a lot of times. It's really good to have someone in here that actually gives us some information. So, yeah, it's been really good. Thank you all for downloading today's episode or watching if you're watching this on Facebook Live. We would just ask that you do something real simple. Just go leave us a 5-star rating review, and we would love you forever.
Hit the like button because they only need 2 more likes.
That's right, to get over that elusive 2,000. Yeah, see you later, guys.
See ya.